Welcome to MTG Ectoplasm, your home for Spirit Tribal and Magic the Gathering. On this episode, we're going to be talking about banning. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The big announcement came out yesterday, and some cards, some major card actually got banned, and some other cards and other formats got banned too. And we're going to be discussing it here tonight on the show. Also, there's been leaks of the crime families. We got the signets, we got the names, and now the triomes. That's right, have been spoiled. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to sit there and talk about Greg's Games. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Greg's Games. They're the sponsor of the show. You can find them at 2103 White Horse Mercerville Road in Hamilton, New Jersey, 08619. Let me just tell you, I love this shop. I love this place. They're really great to go to. Let me just tell you, if you're into Magic, if you're into need sleeves, boxes, if you're into tabletop games, they have anything and everything you're looking for. I promise you. Let's pick this: Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer, just anything and everything. I love this shop. I was there last Sunday. I trained up a couple cards to get what I really wanted for my Spirit deck. So Greg's Games, check them out. Now, like I tell you, I'm your host, Dwight, aka D Blanco, a medium that wears an extra large. You can reach out to me on Twitter at mtgectoplasm@gmail, or you can email me. You can reach out to me on Twitter at mtgectoplasm, or you can email to me directly at mtgectoplasm@gmail.com. This episode's wild and wacky. We're just going at it no matter what, right? So, like I ask each and every single episode, do me a favor. Hit that follow, like, subscribe button. I'm not charging you anything to join the show. Just tell your friends, family. If you like Magic, you see we're having fun here, you know what? You're going to enjoy the show, I promise you. Now's the time where I bring on a special guest. It's my wife, Ravishing Renata. How you doing there, Ravishing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. She's my engineer. She's the one who drives the show. She lets me know the do's and don'ts, and hey, may have screwed up here and there. But I have another special guest. He joined me last week on an episode. We were just talking shenanigans, right? And he's back. That's right. You can find him at Fires in Atlantis on where? Oh, Instagram. It's my friend, the one, the only, Dan. How you doing there, Dan?
I'm good, Dwight. How you doing, buddy?
Oh man, what an evening! I had a bit of the adult beverage this evening, and I had like one or two sips, and it's already hitting me. It's already affected me, and it's up to no good.
So. You're lucky, dude. I've been sitting here pretty much all day. Working on grad papers. Yeah. Hey, super cool.
Look, you know what? We all want to educate ourselves. We want to get smarter. Hopefully get a little bit of more of that ching so we can sit there and improve our Magic decks, right? I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah, dude. No doubt.
Yeah,
that's why we're here to learn more about Magic. Is that right?
There you go. See, I love that. And then I got the wife in the background going, no. We got to pay bills. We got to pay rent. You got mortgage to pay.
Sorry about that.
So, Dan.
Yeah, what's up?
Did you hear about the bannings?
I did. And one of them impacted my deck yet again. But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yes, we will. These bannings will start effectively yesterday, March 7th of 2022. And let's start with what got banned, shall we? So, Ravishing, why don't you bring up the cards that just got banned, shall we? And that's the first one right there in Pioneer. Pioneer, Loris of the Dream Den, gone. This is a card that's been with us since almost 2 years now, since near the beginning of the pandemic, and now it's gone.
It's a great card, and it's such a good card that they needed to adjust it once and then eventually get rid of it because it's just that good. It's format warping essentially. And especially with faster formats like Modern and Legacy, where a lot of the mana costs are already so low, down 1, 0, 2. It's effectively no cost to play in a lot of decks, and that's why they had to get rid of it. First crippling it by by making it so that you had to pay 3 to put it in your hand,
Right.
just like all of the companions. Obviously, that was a rule that they made across the board for those cards, which I think was a good move. I think maybe 2 would have been better so that you can play it on your 3rd turn, because most of them did cost at least 3 to play. So making it so you can effectively only play it on your 4th turn unless you've got some tricks to get it out earlier. I think I don't necessarily think that was a bad move. However, I don't know. Is it worth a ban? Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah.
This is the banned card from Pioneer. Run out of. Well, let's see what's next that gets banned in Modern, shall we? Oh, there it is. Lure's the Dream Den. It got banned in Modern. Holy crap!
It did.
You didn't even have to change the slide. It's the same freaking card. Banned in Pioneer. Banned in Modern.
Yeah. You know what? I never. I bought a bunch of them, intended on putting them in my deck, and then never did. Which I think is fine, because it doesn't really fit my playstyle anyway. It was kind of just one of those cards where I was like, I'm going to mess around with this, and then just never ended up doing it. And I don't necessarily feel bad for not having done that. It's not like when they banned Oko, where I was all about that card. And then, it needed a ban. It needed a ban really bad. Swinging in for lethal damage with an alpha Black Lotus, I think kind of warps the game a little bit beyond what it should, especially when, every deck is trying to jam both blue and green. Whereas Luris doesn't necessarily have as much of a tax on deck building restrictions. You can play it with either black or white. You don't have to put both of them in your deck. It only costs 3 to play, and the benefit it's a Snapcaster Mage for permanence, which is rough. That's a rough game, to be playing against, especially in such fast formats like Modern. So I don't disagree with the ban. Little bummed that I didn't get to try it out first, though. So that is what it is.
You know what grinds my gears is that I had this card in a pack where I was going to just trade them all in. I was going to trade them in Sunday. And I was like, you know what? They're not going to ban this right now. I got time. And for some reason, I didn't pull the trigger. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to trade in other things. And I should have pulled the trigger.
I think the writing was on the wall for a while, dude.
It was on the wall, but I was like,
I apologize. My cat's really annoying right now.
No, it's all right. It's all right. We all like our furry friends.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it chapped my back end, because I was sitting there like, are you kidding me? I busted my ass, and I was about to trade it in, and then I didn't. I went against my own thing, because the way I looked at it, like you just said, it is, Snapcaster for permanence.
Yeah. It's a great card.
So hard.
It's a 3/2 with lifelink for 3. Aside from being a Snapcaster for permanence and getting around most of the impacts of hand removal that you'd commonly see in formats. Thoughts, you can't Thoughtseize it out of your hand when it's living outside the deck. Really, the only initially when they designed it, it paired with Drannith Magistrate in the format, so you were able to lock companions out of the game, because Drannith Magistrate stopped you from being able to cast cards from outside of your hand. However, with the change to paying 3, putting it in your hand, in standard, it kind of, or in standard and in limited, it kind of made that effect not as impactful. And being outside of your hand for the majority of the game until you're ready to cast it, really, I think, puts it over the edge. I would love to see a format where this card didn't have companion.
I was going to ask you that, but that was my initial question when you were starting going down this line. I was like, if it was just a regular card without companion, would it have gotten banned?
Ooh,
I don't think so. I personally think this, like, if Snapcaster didn't get banned, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of instants and sorceries that could be played with Snapcaster, there's no way in hell that Lords of the Dream Den would end up getting banned.
Yeah, you know what? I think the big difference between Loris and Snapcaster, number one, this is legendary, so you can only have one. You could cast like 3 Snapcasters and get a bunch of things out of your graveyard. However, the big benefit of Loris is that it's effectively casting a Snapcaster every turn, because it gives you the ability to repeat the effect. It's not an enters the battlefield triggered effect,
Right.
where you're only getting the ability once. And I think that that's really more the problem, because you could run 4 of them and then make sure that you're not wasting your 3rd turn to put it in your hand, spending the mana. You can have 4 of them in your deck. You pitch 1 to Solitude, you pitch 1 to Grief. I mean, it's black and white, so it works with the evoke creatures. You can have 4 of them in your deck without the negative impact if you're running
Right.
The evoke package. Just getting the additional benefit off of having a free card that you can get rid of and getting the effect every turn. So I think even if it didn't have companion and could,
Right.
I mean, really, maybe it needs the deck building restriction, just to be in your deck, not just as a companion. I don't know. I think it's a very powerful card. I don't think it's the most powerful card that has come out. I think that goes to Oko, my personal opinion.
Right.
But
in the I'd say in the last couple years, let's say 3-4 years, Oko was definitely unhinged.
That was a wild card.
Yeah.
That was a wild card. I love Oko. It's such a good card. It's an EDH staple, which is one of my favorite formats. Hot take. Yeah.
Well, let's see what Ravishing Renata says the reason why. She's going to read to us why WotC ended up banning this in Modern.
Oh yeah, I didn't read any of this, so let's
worry,
see.
She's going to read it for you.
Since the release of Modern Horizons 2, Modern has enjoyed a period of experimentation and exploration. Despite that, Lords of the Dream Den has remained an
That's all right.
ubiquitous presence in the format across multiple archetypes. Loris play rate 31% in Magic Online League decks that started with 4 wins points to a card that is contributing to the harmonization of the modern play experience. There is not a significant enough deck building cost to incorporate it into a wide variety of strategies. As is often the case in larger non-rotating formats, there are already strong incentives to include as many cheap and efficient cards as possible in your deck due to format speed and a variety of other pressures. Loris compounds those incentives by providing a powerful additional resource that helps to alleviate the weakness of filling your deck with cheaper and often less impactful cards as games go on. For too many archetypes, Loris isn't a trade-off but purely addictive. Due to play data, community feedback, and a desire to keep as diverse a range of card options as possible available to players in Modern, Lords of the Dream Den is banned.
Wow. What do you think? What do you think of WotC's statement? They used a ubiquitous and homogenized. I mean, well, they went through the thesaurus to make sure, my English level was, college lit. Like I made sure I graduated with college lit there of English,
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, they really brought it up to like the 5th grade reading level. It's pretty crazy.
5th grade, dude. Like if that's 5th grade, bro, I'm in bad shape. I'm like, 3rd grade English.
Yeah. Nah, you're good. I think the big thing, I mean, it kind of goes along with what I was saying before, where it's too easy to include in your deck, because of the way that it costs, and even if you're not playing it as a companion. What was that?
And the decks have to be 2 or less. I mean,
but they don't. That's the thing.
The speed is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's already getting jammed into fast formats. If you're playing it as a companion, you're making sure that it's in your companion zone, and there's not really a deck building restriction. But if you wanted to play it in your main deck and get around that deck building restriction, because of the fact that it costs, either 2 black or 2 white, most decks can splash enough of that either color, even if they're out of that color, without an issue. Like Merfolk, you could run a mono blue list without any impact running Wanderwine Hub to get the white off of the Wanderwine hubs, or off of Flooded Strands, or any other lands that are going to allow you to tap for your blue and get a little bit of white so that you can play it. Or we're already running Dismember, so why would you not include like a Drowned Catacomb or something along those lines, so that you have access to the black, so that you can just cast Lurrus? Or you don't even need the additional colors, because you just flash it in with your Aether Vial on your 4th turn instead of dropping your Marrow Regery or your Sveilun. I'm a Merfolk player, so those are the cards that I'm going to be playing. Other decks are going to be slotting it in without much negative impact to their deck building, so there really is no restriction for it. And I agree with Watsy. I think that it was the time to get rid of it and bring back some health and variety into the format.
I agree with that last statement. 100% agree with.
Thanks.
Now, Ravishing. Let's see why they banned it in Pioneer. Let us know.
While considerably less dominant in Pioneer today, 20% in Magic Online League decks that started with 4 wins, we expect that Lurrus's metagame share will only grow as Pioneer's card pool expands. Our philosophy for Pioneer is to create the most compelling sandbox built from recent standard formats. As Pioneer continues to grow over time, that incentive of non-rotating formats to pick and choose the most efficient cards from each release will become more pronounced, and Lurrus will only serve to accelerate that process. In the interest of preserving the diversity that Pioneer is enjoying, rather than waiting for the critical mass in which Lurrus of the Dream Den is problematic, it is banned in Pioneer.
Wow. So this is a premeditated ban.
Okay. So what does that say? I think it says that in some standard formats we're going to get some good low cost, impactful cards.
Right.
Yeah.
And obviously it's going to be white or black, because
could be
white or
could
black.
Be white or black. Could be any color.
You're right. But they're basically telling us, hey guys, this is premeditated. Let's be honest. Pioneer's like an untapped resource right now. This, it started in just a hint before the pandemic. Pandemic hit, it killed Pioneer.
Yeah.
Now it's trying to make a resurgence. And before anybody starts losing their freaking minds, bam, we're banning it, because there's great card selection coming up shortly, and it may affect the Pioneer meta.
Yeah, I don't think that that's a bad move by Wizards either. It's such a good card in other formats that I think they see the writing on the wall. They're like, this, it's an eternal format that's going to eventually grow into having almost as an expensive card pool, or as expansive card pool as something like Modern, a long ways down the line. They just see that it's going to become problematic, and one of those things where you want to be running it constantly, especially if they see that maybe there's cards that are triggered by cards being cast from the graveyard, or some other recursion strategies that would then pair with Lurrus in such a way that it would become more problematic in the format. So I don't play as much Pioneer. I love the Wizard, the mono blue Wizards deck that I built, kind of along the lines of a Merfolk deck. Right. It's kind of what it feels like. So I haven't really thought about putting Lurrus into that, but I could definitely see how with an expanding card pool, it could be problematic for sure.
Well, let's see what else Watsy ended up doing. Ravishing, if you mind hitting the next slide for me. And that is the next banning.
Yeah.
Galvanic Relay
Yeah.
and Disciple of the Vault.
Yeah.
They're gone. They're out of here. Adios. Arrivederci. Mushi mushi konnichiwa. Adios. Aloha means hello and also goodbye.
Ooh.
So, what is your thought? Me personally, I play Boros Bully. Okay, when it comes to Pauper, I have Boros Bully and I have Mono Black Panza. Love my Mono Black Panza. It's just
That's a fun deck.
Yeah, just to give it to the Tron players.
Hey, I play Tron, bro.
I know you do.
I know. I love my Tron deck.
Like Disciple of the Vault has been a thorn in people's side because the fact that you got the artifact decks that are up to shenanigans and
you know me. I play
Relay.
I play Affinity.
Yes, you do. And Galvanic Relay, doesn't make it any easier. There's other cards out there that I feel like they could end up using.
Yeah.
But, it's tough. What is your thoughts personally on the shakeup now in Pauper?
So I think the big thing with Pauper is that there's it's one of those game card, or it's one of those formats that I personally like it because it's got that legacy feel. It's got a lot of cards that are available to you. It's inexpensive to build, but there's some really, really good tech. Like you can drop a Lotus Petal, you can drop Ornithopters, you can play a lot of cards that are really, really cheap or free to cast, and I think that's what Storm wants, and I can see how that becomes problematic when you get a turn one, you drop I don't know what Storm's playing, but I know what Tron plays, and I know that I can drop a ton of cards. So something like Galvanic Relay in Storm, allowing me to exile the top card of my library, I would totally put that in a Tron deck. Didn't even think about it until now. Or not in a Tron deck, I'm sorry, in my Affinity deck. That's what I've been talking about. You can drop a ton of cards in Affinity. You can do the same thing in Tron, but the big thing is there's a lot of free spells that you can play, a lot of really cheap spells that you can play, and something that's going to allow you to just reveal a bunch of more free spells to then continue playing them. Eventually, maybe you hit another Galvanic Relay, and then you increase your Storm count and drop out a win. Or is Chatterstorm still in the format? I can't remember.
I don't.
Let me see. Hold on. I actually have the ban list up here right now on my other computer. Vintage, Legacy, Commander.
Pauper's there somewhere.
Block, Brawl, Pauper. Chatterstorm is banned, but there are other cards. I'll have to look up its Storm list. But I mean,
there's one that I know I use that has Retrace, where you discard a land and you get to replay the spell from your graveyard.
Yeah,
I forget what it's called, but
oh man, I'm sure I've lost to that a bunch. I just can't remember it either. I don't know. Galvanic Relay, I could see it as a problem. I understand why they banned it. I don't know their reasoning. I imagine it's just because Storm is a tough deck to beat in Pauper. Disciple of the Vault, that's kind of the one that hurts me the most.
Because you're Affinity.
I'm an Affinity player. I love my Pauper Affinity. However, I've messed around with Disciple of the Vault in the past. I was running Grixis Affinity for a really long time, and my personal playstyle with the Affinity deck is I prefer it to be an aggro build. That's I'm not playing on MTGO. I'm playing against you guys. I'm playing against other Pauper players who are playing in paper and are playing it a little bit more casually. And Disciple of the Vault, while it's a great card and definitely impacts the games, I prefer trying to get out as many of the Affinity creatures as I can. More of a classic Affinity build where I'm trying to drop anything that says Affinity for artifacts on it. Right. What is it? I've actually got my deck right here so I can take a look at it. And That's what I had to put in my my new foil.
Did you foil out your Pauper deck? Just out of
No,
curiosity.
dude, I wish. I got the foil at Friday Night Magic
Don't be
Mirror
cheap.
Enforcers.
Don't be cheap. Go
they're
ahead.
just hot, dude.
It's only they're only commons. You should be able to foil it out.
Yeah, except for like all of the artifact lands are like $15 a piece. At
You
least,
know, for your masters, you
last I
got
checked.
that money.
I got money to put into my fully signed Heliod deck. That's where I'm putting money. Yeah, I'm not going to play tournaments with my Pauper deck, but I will go play some EDH.
You should.
I should. I would love to. Oh yeah. So what was the card that I was thinking? You know, like you got Thoughtcast, drawing 2 cards. The big thing for me, the one that I want to be playing are things like Sweatworks Brawler. 4 cost 3/3 with Menace that has Improvise, so I can tap my artifacts to play it. Or like Metallic Rebuke as my free, my 1-drop counter spell, effectively, because I can cast a Springleaf Drum by itself, or cast an Ichor Wellspring along with it to improvise it into play. The Somber Hoverguard, just a 3/2 with affinity for artifacts flyer. I think it costs 6 normally, but I'm usually playing that by like turn 3.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, remember last week's episode was about proxies and net decks? Did you net deck this one, or was this a homebrew?
No, dude, this is mine.
That's your original homebrew.
Yeah, this is my homebrew. I got like Carapace Forgers in here. I got Galvanic Blast. I'm playing Springleaf Drums. I was at one point playing, got Ornithopters in here. I don't think that's like normal tech for affinity, typically. But I'm playing. Oh gosh, what's the card? It starts with a D.
White.
It's Dynacharge. So I can give creatures. I give creatures 2/0 until end of turn. So like, I'm basically my game plan is turn 1 Ornithopter, land, Springleaf Drum, using the Springleaf Drum and the land to pay for a Frogmite, so then I can have affinity and drop another Frogmite. So then like turn 2, I'm dropping multiple Mirror Enforcers, or basically dumping my hand, using Perilous Research to sacrifice Ichor Wellsprings or Chromatic Stars. Basically, like, this deck is all about just getting cards out as quickly as I can. I used to use what was the black card? Basically does the same thing as Perilous Research, except as a part of the cost to cast it, you sacrifice a permanent rather than drawing 2 cards and then sacrificing a permanent. It's black. Can't remember what it is, but it's effectively the same thing. And that's what I was running in the Grixis build. Now I'm on blue, black, green. No, blue, red, green. What is that?
A lot of shenanigans. Timor?
Is that yeah? Is that what that is?
Red,
I can't remember.
Black, green. No, that's Jund.
No. I'm not red, black, green. I'm blue, black, green.
That's Timor.
Yeah. Okay.
That's Timor.
Yeah, I should put some TBRs in here, but I don't have that, or at least I don't have it in this deck right now. It would be good tech though. Yeah, so I mean, they took out a Tog, they took out Disciple of the Vault. That's a huge hit to the affinity players out there. But I think honestly, like,
the deck is not fair. They got to deal with it. They have to, make Pauper fun.
There's a lot of things in the deck that make it not fun to play against. Anytime you're dropping an artifact or sacrificing artifacts for other things, and you're just pinging for one, in addition to like getting big things out really quick, making it unfun for everybody else.
I hear you. Well, let's go to our next slide. The decks that got hurt by the banning, especially in Modern.
Ooh.
What do you think of this deck list here? Death Shadow, Jund and Grixis. They had Loris in the sideboard.
hurt by. I
John.
mean, it should say under modern on your screen where it says Death Shadow, John Rakdos, and lists all the decks that are hurt by modern, by the Luris ban. It should just say pretty much everything. Because
not everything. You got to consider Spirits. Spirits doesn't use it. Merfolk doesn't use it.
Merfolk can use Luris and has used Luris. And it's like Wizard says, like Watsy called out, it's just too easy to build around. So any deck that can run it is trying to, or at least has messed around with it, and probably has the ability to increase win percentage using it. But yeah, I can see how these decks specifically are using are more impacted by it.
Let me just tell you, Jund, I went toe-to-toe with Jund. And Loris was a huge bane to my side because I get rid of the Ren and 6. Guess what? Ren and 6 came back.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Rakdos aggro, that's tough. The Rock is a tough matchup. 8-Rec, it's not really a tough matchup. I think we have, when it comes to Spirit Tribe, but Hammer Time. Think about it.
Yeah.
Hammer Time. Are you kidding me? And then our friend Mike, he loves the Aura Hexproof decks, which is what the Slippery Boggle type of decks.
Oh, yeah.
They're running this too. So I mean,
the Stoneford Mystics and stuff like that.
These decks here officially got screwed because do I think they can find a way back? Sure. There's no, I don't think Loris is the end all be all, but it did make a huge difference in the win percentile with these decks.
You know what? I think the one that surprises me most is the Aura Hexproof, and I think that one surprises me more than anything else, because I feel like the rest of the list is primarily in black red, at least some part. And that kind of makes sense for those graveyard strategies where you're trying to dump things in. You're not really as impacted by that. So having a Luris there, you're essentially using Luris to kind of tutor things through your deck. Whereas Aura Hexproof, I don't really understand that, but I guess
trying to kill your permanents, and guess what? They come right back.
Yeah, I mean that's understandable.
These cards are being affected in what? In control. They're being affected in aggro, and even in combo decks. I mean, you name the gamut of a particular deck. Loris had its fingers in it, or shall I say, paws?
Yeah. I mean, it probably has fingers too.
So the next slide, if you don't mind ravishing, are the decks that benefited by the banning. That's it makes sense. Murktide mid range is one of the top decks out there. Azorius Control, obviously. Money Pile, which is 4-color Urion.
Money Pile.
Golgari Yawgmoth, Living End, Amulet Titan, and I saved the best for last. Spirits.
Merfolk.
Spirits. Merfolk's almost there.
Yeah, Merfolk.
The only reason why they got big
it's tier 0
is because of Nikachu. If Nikachu was a spirit guy, it'd be a different story there.
I think Nikachu's a spirit guy in spirit.
But I mean, the ones that caught me, I was like, Amulet Titan is going to be back hardcore.
Yeah,
I really believe that Golgari Yawgmoth is going to make start coming to the forefront. Money Pile, 4-color Urion. It's there. It's we're just waiting to see how many people can invest a lot of money to buy Money Pile.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this? The decks that benefit from the banning.
I mean, just like I said before, with the ban, the decks most impacted by the Luris ban is everything, and the decks benefiting from the decks benefiting most from the Luris ban is going to be everything else. You're either fighting to keep your Luris, or you're fighting to get rid of a Luris. Right. And that was the meta. So without it's really going to open up the format, and I think that's going to be important for the overall health of the play. And I'm looking forward to getting my cards back so I can continue playing.
Well, the next is the decks hurt by the banning in Pioneer. That's the Azorius Insult deck, which is they put these enchantment or they enchant the artifact and it becomes like a 5/5 creature. That deck. Then you got Orzhov Shrimp aggro decks with the
Yeah.
low mana cost of like 1 or 2, and then your Rakdos aggro again. These decks severely got hurt because they had Lorius in the deck, and I don't blame them. If you had mana cost that low and that efficient, they're not the top 2 or 3 decks in the meta, but they are.
Yeah, you know what? You got to feel bad for anyone who's playing those decks, especially because it wasn't banned as it was banned as a preventative measure more than it was to impact
Because
the
of
health
those
of the
decks.
format.
Right.
So with losing a card, that might have been the thing that was keeping your deck alive, and now you got to figure something else out. Now I don't know these decks as well, but I definitely feel for anybody who is playing it and now has to figure out something else to make it work.
Now, go ahead.
I would say, I don't even know. The only card that I'm thinking of is from Modern Horizons 1, so it doesn't quite help.
No, it doesn't. Well, in Pioneer, it's not going to even matter.
Exactly.
So the decks that benefited everybody else in the Pioneer format benefited because the fact that Watsy's letting us know in advance this is a premeditated banning and future shenanigans are afoot.
Yeah,
Now,
let's just hope that they get something that the decks that were impacted the most get something good out of it.
okay. So now, Renata, if you don't mind, the card that got unbanned, the only card that got unbanned, and it was for Pioneer, for Pauper, and it was Expedition Map, which ends up making Tron a lot better deck in Pauper.
Oh yeah. As soon as I saw that this was unbanned, I went ahead and bought 4 in foil. That's all I can say. Yeah, I mean,
you're not going to foil your deck, but I'm going to give foil Expedition Maps. Okay.
Oh hell yeah, man! It's a great card. You can't beat an Expedition Map as far as helping you get what you need when you need it. And for something like Tron, I think one of the big gripes that I had when I was building Tron was I really wanted to play with Expedition Map, and it was banned. And I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm going to work around it. I'm going to play something different. I'm going to play a bunch of crop rotations and other things that are going to allow me to filter through the top of my deck to find the cards that I need when I need them. Right. And yet Expedition Map was one of those things where I was like, could really use this. And then turns out they unbanned it. So now I'm really excited to play it.
There you go.
I'm on a mono green Tron, so it's a lot different than what the meta is playing.
The Demir one that just absolutely annoys the crap out of people. Yeah.
What is it? Is it like a Demir Eldrazi Tron?
What I can tell you, it has this starfish of doom, what I call it, and it's just awful. I load the deck. I'm not even gonna just say, this is one card I can understand why WotC unbanned it, but yeah. I'm going to see this thing banned in another 6 months. So
you think Expedition Map's going to be banned in like 6 months?
They're making it's hard to sit there and think, why wouldn't they? You have 3 lands that can make 7 mana. 3 lands.
Yeah.
Total makes 7 mana, and you made the searching ability a lot easier.
Search your library for a land, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle.
Exactly. Yeah, Expedition makes it so much easier. You got to consider, you put 4 in a deck. Dan, you put 4 in a deck, you've already increased your possibility of getting in 1 in 15. 1 in 15. Yes.
I got it right there. Signed by Franz Vollwinkle.
And then you got to consider each land you get 1 in 15 to get. So the probabilities of you getting this or getting Tron, increases. So that's why I'm saying, like,
Sorry.
they unbanned it for now. I see it getting banned in the near future. So
I don't know, man.
enjoy.
I don't know. I see how it's problematic. My big thing is, like, if you really want to use this to your best benefit, you're either cracking it at the end of your opponent's turn. So I guess you're holding up mana. Maybe you're bluffing a counterspell, or maybe you're bluffing, something else.
There's no stifles. There's no stifles. There's nothing stopping this.
Yeah, that's true. There is no stifles. Maybe we're gonna see a stifle.
I think Dazed is, banned, and if Dazed is banned, there's no stopping this.
Maybe what we're gonna see is a two CMC or a 2 mana value. Yeah, got to do it right, man. Or Watsy's going to be up on us. Gotta do. Maybe we're going to see a 2 mana value flash creature or artifact or enchantment, some permanent with a stifle effect at a common, and that's why Lurrus was banned.
No.
Yeah,
they already have a stifle creature for 4 mana automatically, and the what is it? The cycling for like 2 or 3. All right,
yeah,
and that's a rare.
Yeah, I know. I'm just BSing. I know that's absolutely ridiculous and would never actually happen.
So that leads me to my next question. What cards do you think could be unbanned? So Ravishing, please. These are the 2 that I think that could be unbanned in Modern.
In Modern,
and they're the only 2 cards that I think could be potentially unbanned.
Looking at the Modern ban list that I have pulled up, which I can't share my screen because my computer's not allowing me to for some whatever reason.
The first one is Deathrite Shaman.
Oh, I see that.
And then the next one is Splinter Twin. I think Deathrite Shaman is one of these cards that are extremely overpowered. Watsy came to admit they were looking to make a take the Planeswalker effect and put it onto a creature, and that's how we got Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, the way the meta is set up, I would welcome it. If it got too crazy, reban it. I'm okay with that. Now, when it comes to Splinter Twin, I have a deck list for you. But I want you to talk about Deathrite Shaman first. You think Deathrite Shaman could be ready for an unbanning?
Exile target land from graveyard, add 1 to mana pool. Exile target instant or sorcery from a graveyard. Each opponent loses 2 life. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like it doesn't have any evasion from anything, just inherently. I guess you could protect it.
It's just an elf.
You know what?
Shaman, that's a 1/2 for 1 mana.
I think without Lurrus, you could definitely unban Deathrite Shaman.
Exactly.
It's going to make it harder to bring it back, and you're not going to guarantee that you have the card that you need when you need it to bring it back. Granted, there's a ton of recursion effects in green and black, so I can't say that it's the best thing. I don't think that that's really what it wants to do, though. I mean, is the only thing that I can imagine is that there's some sort of combo that I'm just not seeing. Something maybe that, when a card is exiled from a graveyard, you gain a black and untap so that you can just keep doing it, or I don't know. It doesn't really seem like that bad of a card, in my opinion. No, then again, like I'd have to read up on why Watsy banned it when they did and what they believed, because looking at a lot of the things that we've got now, that's one of those that I don't think is problematic that much. However, Splinter Twin.
Okay.
I think that's much more problematic.
Really? At 4 mana? 4 mana. Splinter Twin.
Dude, you can easily get that out. You could very easily.
Okay, I'm glad you're bringing this up. Renata, do me a favor. Go to the next slide. This is a deck that actually won the Grand Prix in 2013.
Yeah.
This one,
Kiki, Pestermite, Splinter Twin. Yeah, I mean that's the Splinter Twin package. Honestly, if Splinter Twin was unbanned, I'm running it in Merfolk. I'm gonna put in Pestermite. I'm putting in Deceiver. I'm gonna because they're both blue. It doesn't really impact me. I'm dropping in 4 lightning bolts. I'm gonna back it up with anything I can. I'm gonna force a negation. Solitude. I'm gonna take care of whatever protection package I can, and I'm gonna try to run it in Merfolk or just build a deck. Essentially exactly like this. The whole deck is built around getting out Splinter Twin on Pestermite or Deceiver and just go into town.
You're telling me decks right now could not beat this deck. Let's be honest with you. I think, honestly, the way the format is set up,
Yeah,
I hands down think it can be beaten. In spirits, in the spirit tribe alone, I think we can beat this deck hands down.
I think that you could. I think that you could beat this deck. I don't think that you can beat the modern Splinter Twin deck that would exist with Splinter Twin now. I think that Splinter Twin's just too problematic. It doesn't have enough of a negative impact on deck building restriction to not play it. It's not like Saheeli and Felidar Sovereign where you need to be playing 3 colors. Like you can effectively splash red as long as you've got blue, or splash blue as long as you're in red to get Pestermite and Deceiver. And I think it's going to end up being one of those cards that's format warping as soon as it's played again. Do I want to play it? Yeah, I bought a play set. Like I'm just waiting for the day that it gets unbanned so that I can play it. But do I think it's a good idea? Absolutely not.
Okay.
What I do think, though, I think it would be great for Wizards for like a month to run a format. I mean, even just for any extended period of time, run a modern format without a ban list. See what decks shake out. See what things are problematic. See what's not problematic, and then reissue the ban list after doing that experiment. I think that would be healthy for the format, allowing people to play a fully unrestricted format. I want to play my Sensei's Divining Tops. I want to play Umezawa's Chite. I want to play all those cards. I want to play Splinter Twin. I'm gonna run Jite, Splinter Twin. I'm gonna run Sensei's Divining Top. I'm gonna run all those cards and try to have the most fun that I can. Is it going to be healthy? No. Is it going to be super degenerate? Yeah. Is it going to make people so upset that they quit Magic? Maybe. Probably not. I think if you're playing that degenerate, unfair, toxic format, you understand what you're getting into. But I think that it would be healthy to allow that to happen just to see what actually is a problem, because you're probably going to find Deathright Shaman not really an issue. I don't see it as being that big of a problem. Would I like to see Mox Opal back in the format? Probably not. Hogak? No.
Definitely not.
I would like to see the Affinity lands. I don't think that would be a problem.
Okay.
I mean, they gave us indestructible Affinity lands that tap for 2 colors with not really that big of an impact on deck building when they come in tapped. If you've got something like Amulet of Vigor in the format, know what I mean? No,
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. We've discussed the banning. We discussed, how Loris was banned in the Modern and Pioneer, how Galvanic Relay and the Disciple of the Vault got banned, how Expedition Map ended up getting unbanned in Pauper, and now you make a solid point why you're really skittish and nervous about Splinter Twin, other cards that you want to see potentially unbanned. But I think you and I are on a mutual agreement that Deathrite Shaman may deserve to come back.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of cards on the ban list that could use a second look. Maybe a handful
I think
at the
sometimes
very
once he's
least.
too quick to ban, but too slow to unban.
Yeah, and I think that having it a completely unrestricted format just to see how it shakes out wouldn't be a bad idea. I also think that with what is it, vintage that restricts cards down to one. I don't think that that's a bad idea. If you've got a card, put it on notice. Like Splinter Twin, you can only run one in your deck. Why not? Like maybe decks then start having to tutor out that Splinter Twin or find it in some way, which causes some sort of insane deck building restrictions that force you to then build around getting that. And then if you lose it, like that's an impact on your gameplay. That's probably going to result in a loss. Something like Loris, where it lives in the commands or in the companion zone, where you're intending to only run one, that becomes a problem. But if you could only run one and it couldn't be in your companion zone, I think that's something that could also help solve these issues of the bad feels when they decide, hey, we're gonna ban this card and basically tear apart the deck for a bunch of players.
I hear you.
That's my opinion.
All right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Reach out to me at mtgectoplasm@gmail.com and let us know what you think. Remember, you can reach out to Dan or look at and see what Dan has to do because he has that Instagram page in Atlantis.
Now, yeah, I've been making muffins recently.
Oh, muffins. There you go.
Yeah.
Sounds absolutely yummy.
These little guys right here.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Muffins. You're the muffin man.
Yeah, I am the muffin man. Do you know?
No,
me?
I do not know the muffin man, but I would really like to try some actual muffins.
My cat's moving my screen. She's really needy right now.
I see. There's so many smart comments there that I'm gonna just leave it alone and keep G and PG friendly.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. MTG is a PG-13 game.
There you go. So now, with the Ravishing's assistance, we're going to talk about, that's right, the crime families. That's right. New Capenna has their crime families. They released the names. The first one's Obscura. Then you got the Maestros, the Riveters, the Cabretti, and then the Brokers. Now, if you're unfamiliar with these crime families, don't worry. You're not the only one. My friend Dan here has never even heard of these names.
Nope.
So let me break down each one. Let me break down the crime families. And Dan, you tell me, which crime family do you feel that you would be a part of?
I mean, I super dig the Cabaretti because it looks like a cat. And obviously I have an affinity for cats. However, I mean, the Riveters, really, really cool looking logo symbol. Obscura, I'm going to assume that that's white, red. All right, I'm going to take some guesses at some of these because I don't
go with the guesses.
Yeah, I don't actually know what colors they are, but based on the symbols alone, I'm trying to think of like what the triomes were missing. I'm going to think Obscura is going to be white and red and black, maybe. Maestros looks like a goblet and knives. So blue, white, green, black, red, all the colors. Riveters, I'm gonna go red, black, and I'm gonna go Grixis. Cabaretti, Naya, because cats, and Brokers. Oh wait, isn't one of them is blue, white, and black. So that's got to be the Maestros. Brokers, God. I have no idea, man. Tell me about it.
Okay. You were right on one of them and one of them only.
Really?
Yes. Well, we'll start with the Obscuras. The Obscura is white, blue, and black. They are wizards that believe in blackmailing and also manipulating. That's pretty interesting, right?
Blackmailing and manipulating.
Yes. They like to
They're
manipulate to get their ends.
okay. So they're white, blue, and black.
White, blue, and black. The next one is the Maestros, the blue, black, and red, and they're vampire elite assassins.
So that's Grixis.
That's Grixis.
So Obscura is Abzan. Then we've got Grixis.
Right.
Okay.
The next one.
You know, they're Maestros. Maestros. Yeah, Riveters. What do they got?
Riveters are black, red, and green, and they're demolition. They're all about they're the construction workers. These are the union guys.
Yeah.
You know,
Chund. Right.
You know, they're like, hey, you know, you want to build something here, you know, you got to grease the palms. And if you want your drivers and people to work here, well, you got to pay that fee.
Kind of reminds me of like a Sin City vibe.
Basically.
Like all these things.
Then the next one is the Cabretti, which is, you're right, the Naya.
It's Naya.
The green and white. They're a bunch of druids who like to sway opinion by having lavish parties.
Okay. I mean, that's definitely cats.
They're lavish and they like to party.
Yeah, they like to party, and they also are very demanding and like to try to sway you in whatever ways they can.
There you go.
Big thing right there.
And then the last one are the brokers, white, blue, and green, which is Bant, and they're demonic lawyers. Lawyers.
Bant, one of my favorite color combinations to play in EDH.
No, I have a hard time with this one. And this, I'm used to thinking demonic, but we're having white, blue, green. Now, lawyers I can see because white, blue, green, can tend to be lawyers.
Yeah, I mean, it's law, it's control, and it's money. Or it's law, control, and like the expansion thereof.
Pursuing the hell out of you to make sure that you bend to their will.
Yeah, and trying to get as much money and growth as possible in capitalist enterprises.
What are your thoughts of these crime families?
I mean, they're color combinations that I like. Like, I'm a huge fan of Grixis. So the Maestros definitely something I'm interested in. That's my preferred color combination for my affinity deck. However, I decided, toss in the Carapace Forgers because how could you not? Especially with losing Disciple of the Vault, there's essentially no reason to splash black anymore. Right. I like the Carabetti family, the Naya colors. Not really where I want to be playing, unless I'm playing something like the Rhino, the 5/4 that costs just Naya colors to play. It's good colors for cats though.
Right.
And Bant. I mean, that's my favorite color combination.
Okay.
Kind of has
my favorite color combination is Obscura, the white, blue, black. And,
Abzan.
I don't mind blackmailing people if I have to, or manipulating to get my ends. I'm okay with that. But also, something about the Maestros, just the symbol, I'm feeling.
It's a good one.
I really am feeling it.
I think personally, I identify more as Riveter. Construction is a trade that I'm familiar with. Yeah,
you're a handy guy.
It's a thing. It's a thing for me.
I'm a handy cat.
I'm a handy cat. So I would probably be between Riveters and Carabetti, whereas Brokers is my preferred color for EDH, and Obscura, Abzan, blue, white, and black, definitely colors I've fiddled around with before, and not outside my wheelhouse for sure.
All right.
Like, yeah, the white and the blue, the Azorius color scheme is kind of like where I lie in the play style that I prefer. And then whether I'm splashing white, blue, black, or green, it's kind of all the same. I'm just putting it in to get, like, what am I getting? A lightning bolt, a Thoughtseize, a gigantic growth, or something along those
There's
lines.
a lot of shenanigans.
A lot of shenanigans, but it's all about that white blue, you know.
All right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the crime families, the five crime families, and now it's time to see where they come from. Now, unfortunately, Watsy didn't spoil all of them for us. They only gave us 4 out of the 5, and the first one we see is Raffin's Tower. Raffin's Tower is a white, blue, and black. Now, there, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see you'll see skyscraper, and the borderless image. Hands down, I'm in lust with the borderless. I'm a huge fan of all the borderless cards here. But all of them have different art, different ways of doing things. No matter which one you get, you can't go wrong.
I think
what are your thoughts on this white, blue, black land?
That skyscraper one is going to look really hot in foil. I think that's the one that I would go for personally. I think the borderless is really, really nice. I like the symmetry of the artwork. It's got a really nice balance to it, and pulls you in. But I think that the art on the skyscraper version kind of has like a Crucible of Worlds feel to it. Because it's kind of it pulls your attention into the corner, and then there's a lot going on that kind of like expands out from that point. And I think that the border on that is going to look really, really nice in foil.
Look sharp.
Yeah, especially if they do some sort of like etched kind of thing going along with that, where it's not a full etch, but just an etch around the the trimming on the foil. Or on that card itself, it's going to look really nice.
So the obscura land, they did a great job with this. That's all I'm saying. That like this particular crime family, they paid a pretty penny for their skyscraper and the way their tower looks.
Yeah, I think that these lands are really nice. I'd love to pick some up.
Now the next triumph is Aitoria's Proving Ground. This is for Riveters. Now, if you look at it, there's not much construction going on here, but you see a strong foundation.
Yeah.
If you see where I'm going here. Once again, I love the borderless, the skyscraper with its, deco design. Can't beat it.
Yeah, I mean, with these ones, I'm particularly a fan of the borderless myself. This one's got, like you said, a really nice Art Deco vibe. The kind of like feathery effect of the 2 lines tapered inwards towards the bottom have a really, really cool design in there. I particularly like the way that you see the Obscura, or this is Obscura. Which one is this?
This is the Riveters.
The Riveters.
Yes, the black, red, and green tribe.
Yeah, I like the symbol in the middle. It's definitely got like a union kind of working class.
Jimmy Hoffa once lived there.
What was that?
Jimmy Hoffa once lived there.
Jimmy Hoffa once lived there. I think it's a place that the Pinkertons would definitely have a problem with. Yeah, there would be some union busting, but there would also be some fighting back, because solidarity, union.
Now the next land is Genomere's Garden. This is the Cabretti tribe, the Naya. Dan, what do you think? They're all very pretty. I love one thing I do like is the skyscraper. They really show you how their staging and their party is going to be.
Yeah, it's got like a really nice chiaroscuro with like the light part and the highlights that are kind of like glowing onto everything around it. The artist is this Bemox. Not sure who that artist is. I'll have to look into them, but they have a really good sense of light and shadow, and the way that they've composed the artwork is really nice. I think this is the only one that has the same symmetry as the Borderless. So I think that maybe the art director initially had plans for this one to be the Borderless art, but then looking at the Art Deco design that you see in the Borderless one kind of fit more with the theme of the other ones instead. The skyscraper looks really, really nice.
Yep.
But personally, I like the regular. I'd like to see that art a
Really?
little bit larger and up close. I think that any one of these would look really nice in foil. Again, skyscraper, if they do some sort of etched trimming around it, I think that would definitely be the way to go. But yeah, like I think I would pick up a print of the regular version.
I hear you.
Hang that on my wall in my basement with some of the other prints I've got.
Well, there you go. That's 3 out of the 5. Now here's the last one. Unfortunately, like I said, they only gave you 4 out of 5, and this is Spirit's headquarters for the brokers.
Yeah,
These are all
brokers. They're bad.
Tell me, Dan. Like, I mean, I'm looking at the Borderless one. Like I said, the Borderless wins for me, but the skyscraper version of this card, wow.
No, hate them. Hate them all.
Wow.
Hate them all. They're all bad.
You don't like them all? Just
nope,
burn them in the bonfire?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have paid for these if I was Wizards of the Coast. They're just bad art. Absolutely kidding. These are incredible. I love them. It looks like we've got some water reflecting some of the things around, or maybe just the shiny floor in the skyscraper one. I think the colors that are used to compose the designs are definitely on brand for Bant. I mean, the entire artwork is like turquoise or shades of what looks like a pinkish, purplish gold. Yeah, and the Borderless with the Art Deco again. I feel like the Borderless designs have more of the Art Deco designs that you'd typically see on the Empire State Building and other skyscrapers,
right?
Around in like the heyday of skyscrapers being built earlier 1900s. Whereas the skyscraper ones have the trimmings of that style, but the art doesn't necessarily reflect the skyscraper vibe that I would expect. Again, with the symmetry on the Borderless, really nice. Really, really captivating with the design for the guild right in the middle. I think I like the art on the skyscraper the best.
Now, as an artist, like you've seen what WotC gave us. They shared with us. What is your out now thought of these lands? Did they hit a home run, or did they just match?
I'd like to see the. I think it'd be nice to have all of the Borderless ones framed side by side to just show the guilds and or show the guild symbols to represent the land colors that I think of primarily when I'm thinking of 3 colors in Magic specifically, and I think that the symmetry would be really nice all together. It kind of makes me wish that they did something similar along the same vibe and same style for the original triomes, so that all of them together kind of have the same feel. I imagine that there's a secret lair that's going to eventually be released with that in mind, because this is Wizards of the Coast, and they're out to make money. And I can't blame them because I will pay for it. Yeah, you know me. The Hepatris headquarters, I mean, they're all beautiful lands. I'm always impressed with the art that is put out by Wizards of the Coast and by the artists. I think the art directors are doing a great job.
I'm annoyed. I'll be honest with you, Dan. I'm 100% annoyed with WotC. Because this is the reason why. Because you have all these, you have the regular, you have the borderless, and the skyscraper.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to put 4 in a deck, right? Shouldn't I have a 4th version?
I don't disagree.
Shouldn't I have a 4th version? Why should I just sit there and pick 2 out of the 3 if I'm going to put 2 in a deck? That means I can only put 3 of the version because it's so pretty. No, they should have made a 4th version so I can put all 4 in a particular deck. I'm just saying, I'm annoyed with WotC. Shame on WotC because I would have paid more money for an additional version of these lands.
That's fair. That's fair. You know what? If in a game that is dominated by the number 4, I can't help but agree with you there. They definitely could have come up with another artwork, even if it's like just a black and white version of the borderless, or maybe
no. You could gold, do like a gold and black.
Oh yeah, just like straight gold, similar to the
like the Gatsby. You know how they always had the black and gold with the Great Gatsby. There you go.
Oh, maybe that's the vibe that we'll see in a Secret Lair.
There you go.
Book cover triomes.
Now, before we end the show, this is one of my last questions I have to you about these triome lands. Will we see this in Pioneer or Modern?
I mean, I don't think any more than we see the triomes already. I think that there's a place for them, but with entering tapped, unless you're playing Amulet of Vigor in Modern, I don't see them really being a benefit to you. If you're looking for a budget alternative to splash extra colors, something along those lines, yeah. Pioneer definitely has more of a chance. EDH, they're going to be played in every deck that is running any of these colors because they're fetchable and they look nice. And that's really what's important, isn't it?
No, lands are utility, so we can use them as mana to play our spells effectively, so we meet our curve. Looking nice is just an added benefit.
Well,
okay, because everybody's going nuts right now for Beseju, who endures, not just because of the way it looks, it's because of what it does.
Yeah, no, Beseju's a killer land. It's great.
I just got
still haven't picked one up yet. Have you?
It just came in the mail. My borderless foils with the alternative art.
Ah, nice. Oh, you know what I got in the mail yesterday? Let me show you. Let's bust this out. Yeah. Open up the Dan binder. Oh, wait, what do I got? Let's see. I got my Thought Seizes, the Sword of Hearth and Homes. Got some Lightning Bolts signed.
While Dan is looking, don't be afraid to follow Dan on Instagram at Fires in Atlantis. Oh, that is very pretty, Dan.
Yeah, got the Jason Rainville sent over a Recruiter of the Guard proof, number 18 of 50.
There you go.
Pretty nice right there. Ordered it a while ago. Really appreciate that it came through in the mail yesterday. Gonna go into the 40.
Wiping that down with alcohol so you don't get the COVID.
Yeah, no. Yeah, actually, it came from Canada, so I think I'm okay.
You sure you can wipe it down with bleach? I hear bleach does exceptionally well with those papers.
Oh man, no, that's gonna go right into the Heliod deck. Debating on whether or not I'm gonna play Armageddon in there.
No,
I don't know. Am I that toxic?
No.
Am I toxic?
You were a toxic individual.
I know. Yeah. Love
So,
looking at
Dan,
these cards, man.
now
Yeah, what's
that
up?
this episode is coming to an end, is there anything else you would like to share with the listening and viewing audience?
I mean, I guess the big thing would be follow me in my car at home on the way from work.
No, don't do that because that's called being a stalker.
What?
Huh?
You can follow me on Fires in Atlantis on Instagram.
All right.
I sometimes make art and post it there. It's one of those things where I do it occasionally and when I want to. And that's where you can find me.
There you go.
Or right here with
There
Dwight,
you, there you go. Ravishing
aka D
anything?
Blanco.
There you go.
You can also catch me at Craig's Games.
Greg's Games. Good.
Yeah,
Cool.
which we will be heading out there soon.
Yes,
Maybe we'll
on
make
the
an announcement
motorcycles.
and go. Oh yeah, heck yeah, dude! I took 2 rides today. One out to Long Branch and then one out to Middletown.
There you go.
Yeah, it was a good time. Except it was very cold, really
Very
cold and
That's why I
windy.
did not ride my motorcycle today.
Dude, it was so windy. Did you ride yesterday?
No, we'll discuss that later. Ravishing, is there anything else you want to share with the listening audience?
Just don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and join us every week.
Every week, listen that every Tuesday around the same time, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, we do this MTG Ectoplasm IRL where we just talk, just magic. That's all it is. It's just Magic the Gathering.
Maybe someday we'll play.
Well, that's the goal. That's 100% the goal. There's another thing, gameplay that I'm doing. I'm learning how to do MTGO, so hopefully I'll be able to share with the spirit community how I play Magic and see if we can change us from being a tier 2 deck to a tier 1. Now, something I want to share with the listening audience, and you may want to share or watch tomorrow's show.
Is it a shower?
Huh? No, not
Is it a shower?
No, not a shower. That's called
Don't
Moist
share
Thoughts on
that?
a different
Oh.
channel. The show I do, we're called Moist Thoughts. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube on MTG Ectoplasm. It's a moral imperative you join me if you're into the spirit community. The reason why the individual who placed 5th in the Modern Challenge this past weekend, who used a Azorius build using Urion, 5th place, will join me live 3 p.m. tomorrow.
So
Okay.
you got a top 8 player in the Modern Challenge here?
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow,
Yes. Tomorrow,
8 o'clock.
3 p.m.
3 p.m. 3 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard. So what time
Yes.
is that in Mountain Time?
I have no clue, but if you live by
I
the
think it's
mountain,
like
you need to figure it out because
It's earlier.
this gentleman is from Sweden. So this is the reason why we're doing the broadcast extra early, because the time zone difference. It's about 9. We do it at 3 o'clock here. It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it's gonna be
over
like
there.
9 o'clock at night over there.
Yeah, so I want to be fair to the individual. I want to be fair to Dennis. His name is Dennis Stockhouse. So I want to be fair to him for being on, to join me on the show and share his infinite wisdom with his Spirit Urion deck, which 5th place in the Modern Challenge. That's not a minor thing. That's not a minor thing, and especially
Yeah,
for the
there's a lot of
Spirit
players that
community,
play in this.
a lot. And
Yeah.
when it was spirits, that's really impressive. So hopefully not only you, Dan, but you, the listening and viewing audience, will join me tomorrow, 3 p.m. My interview with Dennis Stockhouse, discussing his Urion spirit deck. With that being said, Dan, I have nothing more to say.
That's it for me, buddy.
Okay, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the next time you're kicking your opponent's ass, make sure they say, "That's bullshit. We out of here."